Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. I've got my coffee. It's hot. Morning, Joyce. How are you, my beauts? I just got out of bed. Hey, dear. I'm an idle get. Oh, I'm knackered. I haven't done much. Morning, Paul. Fabulous live last night. Really enjoyed it. I've sent the clips. I hope you can make sense of them. You know what I'm like when I send stuff. I'm not too bad, Joy. I've got a bit of an abscess, I think, coming on this side of my face. It started while we were in Whitby at weekend. And hey, yo, good to see ya. You've been jogging. And yeah, I think I'm going to have my tooth pulled. But only thing is, when I smile, you can actually see the tooth that needs pulling. So they're gonna have to give me another false tooth in, I think. But yeah, I've got dentist tomorrow. Luckily, I phoned dentist on Monday, and I said I need a dentist appointment. And John says, "Oh yeah, it'll be 2023 by the time you get an appointment." And I managed to get in for Thursday. So our dentist, I'm happy with our dentists. Oh, you're missing the little girl, are you? She's laid on settee. Morning, Dave. Hope you're all right, and hope everything goes well tomorrow. Let us know how you get on. Up the hills and down Dale. Morning, Sam. How are you, beautiful lady? Happy birthday to anybody whose birthdays it is today, and those that I've missed over the weekend. I know it was Steve, our moderator Steve's birthday yesterday. I did manage to get a happy birthday in there. May have been slightly late, but yeah, Bitch Witch is laying on to tea there. Morning, Gaz. Morning, Margaret. How are you? And morning, Tracy. And she laid last night with a bum away from us. So yeah, she had right kite on wheels last night when we got home. And even when we went to bed, she laid right at the bottom of the bed as though she was going to drop off. So yeah, but no, she's doing okay. We had a fabulous weekend in Whitby. We didn't go live because we were just so tired. We didn't even make it up to the Abbey. I did get my Whitby jet though. Look, I got my Whitby jet ring, and I also got oh, do you know my family? Hello, I'm live at minute, Mum. All right, I'll ring you back after I've finished. All right, Mum. All right, love you. All right, bye. Mothers, who'd have them? And I got where's it gone? I hope it's not tangled. Where's it gone? It's only a little thing. Oh, there it is. Look, I got my little tree of life with me little gemming. Do you know? I think she's missing Charlie, Yolanda. I think Fee's actually missing Charlie. She's like pouting this morning. She's yeah, she's definitely. I think we need to get another dog. Oh, we're going to have to dog share. We'll have to have Charlie for a couple of days, and then you'll have to have Fifi for a couple of days, and we'll have to dog share, I think. Because, yeah, I think she's missing Charlie just as much as he's missing her. You don't know how much you rely on your mum till she's not about. Do you know what, Tracy? You bloody don't. Do you know my mum, though? I've got to say, my mum is one of the best mums ever. Especially with a child like me that through the teens was quite naughty, answered back. A lot of it, though, do you know, it's wrong, but because I lost my dad when I was 8, it was like my dad was, I don't know about in everybody else's families, but in our family, we're like, wait while your dad gets home. And then about half an hour before my dad would due home from work, we'd be like, oh, Mum, don't tell Dad, don't tell Dad. And she said, well, you best behave then. And this is like end of day. And so when we lost my dad, we lost that discipline. Let's say we lost the discipline when we lost my dad, because my mum was so soft. And I think after that, obviously, because like I said before, how our family did it is we didn't, the adults grieved. My dad passed away on September 25th in 1982, and he was 31, and he passed away on the Saturday night. Well, early hours Saturday, Sunday morning. We found out Sunday morning, but I already knew because I'd had a dream the week before, and I knew at 4 o'clock in the morning that my dad had passed, and I was telling our Jenny, and yeah, we were all thinking. And so we were back at school on the Monday, and then it was my uncle's birthday on the 29th of September? Well, I can't know, 30th, I don't know. But on my uncle's birthday, they had their funeral then, and we were at school. I can remember it. We were at school, and we come home, and everybody were in our house, and they were all dressed in black, and they've got sandwiches on and everything else. And there were only like a few family members and friends. And we come in out, and first thing they said is, oh, it's our Gary's birthday. So me and our Jenny, being 8 and 6, even though we'd lost my dad, we was like celebrating our Gary's birthday. So we were like dancing and singing happy birthday to our Gary and everything else. And yeah, it were morning, Claire. So our family didn't deal with the bereavement for us very well. It was sort of like swept under the carpet. And then my dad's name was never mentioned. We never talked about my dad. We never did this. And I think because we'd got that excuse that we'd lost his dad, it allowed for bad behavior. So we're grieving, but the adults didn't think we were grieving because they all thought we were too young to grieve. And our Jenny, yes, she was 6. So our Jenny, yes, she was a bit too young to be grieving, but I wasn't. So from the age of 9, I started smoking. I started drinking by the age of 10. I was a very wayward girl, but everything was put down to it's the loss of a dad. She's acting out because of her dad, and everything. So everything was given an excuse. So because that excuse was given, I'd then been given an excuse for my behaviour all the way through my teens. So every time I did something wrong, I'd throw it back in everybody's face, and I'd be like, well, it's because I ain't got a dad. And technically, it wasn't because I ain't got a dad. It was because there was no discipline. And I'm not saying my mum should have disciplined us more, because I don't think she could have. But I think if we'd have talked about the grief a little bit more, I think then we may not have acted the way we did. But we can't turn clocks back, so we'll never know. But all I would say is to those out there that do have young children, and they do lose a parent, make sure that the children get that counselling and that kind of stuff that they need. Because obviously they grieve, but they grieve in a different way to as an adult. But yeah, no, my mom's amazing. She's been there for me for everything. Morning, Shirley, my lovely. She's put up with some. Don't get me wrong, we've had us do's, and my mum's done things that maybe she shouldn't have done, but at the end of the day, she's there for me all the time, day and night. So yeah, I love my mum to pieces. But morning, Julie. So on a lighter note, let's get off the talk of loss, because we're not here. Well, we are here to talk because it's part of the spiritual journey, isn't it? I mean, it would definitely start on mine. What started you on your spiritual journey then? What got you guys onto your, we have Claire, we have. What got all you guys onto your spiritual journey? Obviously for me, it was the loss of my dad that sort of like, that's when I stopped believing in God and Jesus and stuff, because it wouldn't have took, if there were a God, it wouldn't have took my dad. It would have took somebody that were bad in my eyes back then when I were 8. Obviously, as you get older, you look at things through an adult's eyes and not a child's eyes anymore. So there's a lot of there's a lot of things to think of. But that's what got me on starting on my spiritual journey and interested in afterlife. So what got you guys into afterlife then? Let's hear your stories. I'm right sweating. I'm red hot. Oh, it's red hot in this house. I need my fan. So Shirley, hang on, Shirley, let's put you on screen. Lost my key. I just felt like there was always someone with me and signs. Yeah. Did you feel that from a young age then, Shirley? Did you always feel like is it like a guide? Is it or just the sense that a loved one's always present around you? Morning, and my lovely. We're talking about how we got into into the line of spirituality and the lines of the afterlife and stuff. I'm sorry if I'm playing with my hair, but I've got to hook it up. That's it. That's better. I might not sweat as much. Morning, Margaret. Oh, I've already said morning to Margaret. Yeah, always from when I was a child. So what used to happen, Shirley? What things, excuse me, if you don't mind me asking, but you know, like when you were little, for me, it was the dreams. I dreamt that my dad had passed a week before he passed. And then on the Sunday morning, early hours Sunday morning, about 4:00, I woke our Jenny up because we had to go to my uncle's that night. And I woke our Jenny up and I said, my dad's died. She started crying. And then my cousin, who didn't know we were there and didn't know what were happening, come into the bedroom and smacked me because she thought I'd upset our Jenny until she realised what had happened. And then we found out at 6:00 that he had passed. So that's that. Claire's put, my childhood home ghost, then haunting, sat 3 other properties, different spirits to my child. Then my nan passed away and I needed answers. So you know the houses then you had prior then, Claire, what were the energies like in your homes at the time? Because it seems that it's sort of like a few of the houses you went to, you'd actually got spirit activity, didn't you? Same here. I seem to know what was happening before it did. Yeah. But do you know, Shirley, when you sort of like get to your teens, you sort of like push it. I don't know whether you did, but I sort of like pushed it to one side. And it was only when I got into, I'd say, late teens, 19s, early 20s, that I actually started looking back into it. I'd done the Ouija boards when I were in my teens and done contact that way, and had different experiences on the Ouija board, and friends of mine, they also had different experiences on Ouija boards. Some had knives thrown at them and all sorts, but that never happened while I were there, so I can't really I can't say whether it were right or wrong what was happening. But then it was only when I got serious into it, when I started going back to spiritualist church in my early 20s. So how did your lot find it? Did you find that you had that breakaway, or did you like work through it from young to where you are now? At my childhood home, it just liked to let you know it was there, but it wasn't frightening, and we could go months with no activity. Mum and Dad don't live there anymore, but the new owner is experiencing things. Wow, Claire. I wonder if they'd ever let us in. Claire, and see if we can answer some questions for them. Shirley's put, mine, when my dad died, died about 16 years ago, and I talked to people who passed in my head. Yeah, in your head. Not on your head, in your head. Yeah. Do you know, it's so hard though, isn't it? Whether you lose a parent, a child, a sister, a brother, a sibling. I think I think for a lot of us, it brings us into that wanting answers. And I think sometimes some of us do get the answers, some have to wait a little bit longer. But yeah, I think it's, and you know what I do like is when we get that confirmation, whether it's through tarot reading, whether it's through somebody that does mediumship, whether it's through answers when we're doing a spiritual spirit box, or using apps and devices that we use, is when you get that confirmation that nobody else could have known that. You were actually on your own when it happened. I remember once I'd gone to this psychic fair, and I paid, this is the most I ever paid for a reading. I paid £35, and somewhere I've still got he gave me a little tape, because he did it, but he taped the entire session. And I went there and he said, I've got oh, hang on, let me just read what Claire's put. The other occupancy started after Aaron was born. I'm wondering if it was following my son from property. It wasn't nice and put me through fear. Things finally stopped when Aaron reached about 11. Could have been that Aaron were more susceptible, Claire. Could have been. Could mean that Aaron were more open. Or it's you that was more open and you closed down. I'd probably go for that one. I think you closed down. I was 4 when my grandma died. It was explained to me that she'd gone to sleep and woke up. I thought she'd wake up if we shouted loud enough. I thought they were meant to shout. Oh, bless you. Yeah. Morning, Dawn. But it's awful. It's awful. I mean, I remember my dad passing like yesterday. I can tell you everything that happened in that moment. But yeah, it were like, I went to this bloke and I paid £35 for reading. Never paid it again and never will, because I got exactly what I needed from this gentleman. And I was sat there and he says, right, he says, I've got a gentleman coming through. And he described these features and things on me. And I said, yeah. Then he gave me my pop's name, which was the full name. And I was like, okay. Then he said, I've got a lady coming through and she was a chain smoker. Well, I know that was straight away. That was my auntie, which was my dad's sister. And she'd have a fag there. She'd put that, before that one was put out in the ashtray, she had another one in her mouth. I love my Auntie Brenda to pieces. And he says, yeah, he says, we've got this lady. And then he brought my nanan's best friend through. And he was describing her and he was saying things that only my nanan would have known. And I didn't know the answers. It was my nanan when I took it back to my mum and my nanan that did it. And then he said, this lady says, stop smoking, you wacky backy. Or don't smoke as much wacky backy as you are. And you know, from that day, I didn't smoke as much at all. Not that I smoked a lot anyway, but yeah, it was so funny because it was like, really? They know that I'm doing this thing. But so, I mean, it mentioned stuff. I were in garden and I were on my own. Kids were at school and I were doing edge, you know, with edge cutters. And I cut through wire. And he told me that. He told me I'd cut through the wire. He told me who were with me at that time and everything. And he would just, I wish I could get in touch with him again, because he was absolutely amazing. One of the most, he's got to have been the best reader the best medium that I've ever seen, or well, what I've paid for. He's got to be the best, because the information he was coming out with, there's no way he could have known any of that. Then obviously we've gone to spiritualist churches, and I've had amazing readings from those at spiritualist churches as well. They've brought things through that, again, there's no way they could know. And it wasn't, it was Pacific. It was Pacific. So there was certain things that, or words or phrases that they would have used. And it was like, do you know what? Yeah, I could, that's, and it's just, but honestly, it's good. Never charge for a reading. But you know what, Dawn? Some don't, some do. I mean, I do free reading. I can't remember what his name is, Paul. But I'll have to see if I can find tape out, because I'm sure the tape had got his name on. But he was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I'm going back. I mean, this is, you're talking, I was in my 20s, Paul, when I had it done, so it might not even be here still. But no, it was such. I was just drawn to him for his energy when we were walking around, because you've got all these other tarot readers, and then there was just this gentleman sat in corner with like dark hair back to about his neck, and it was brilliant. Some people, like I said, some don't charge for the readings. I do free readings when I come online and do my free readings, but I'd still charge if somebody wants a private reading. All right, it's only £15 that I charge, but that helps me then pay for other cards and give better readings. So, well, not just better readings because they're all the same, but it gives me other opportunities. So, yeah, no touting done. We're not allowed to tout. Whether I know you're a reader, but again, just be careful how you word it. I don't want to remove comments because, like me and Paul was saying, when me and Paul are live, what happens is Paul does a live and he gets people commenting, basically advertising themselves, which you find that I'd never go on somebody else's live and say I'm a tarot reader, blah 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 or anything, or you do these readings or you do that readings, because to me I find it a bit disrespectful. I'm not saying you're done, and I know you anyway, but it is very disrespectful to the people that are on. Paul's had it loads when he's been live and people are jumping in, and then they're actually messaging people we know. Then people then message us and say, oh, do you know such and such has just messaged us, and we'll say, I mean, some even get friends requests from these people, and they're like, I don't know you from Adam. So they just get blocked, and nobody wants a reading off them, or nobody wants to have a past life with them because they're just going to buy it all the wrong way. So just be very careful on how you word, because I know Paul did a speech on it, and validate what Paul says 100%. We do have to watch it. Morning, Gillian, my lovely. How are you this fine morning? Please don't say anything. It was fine last night. I just removed the comment just because of the wording. But there's no fuss, there's no hassle, so you're fine, my lovely. So no apologies, no nothing. But yeah, it's comforting when you get a good reading. It endorses my belief systems. It's very naughty, isn't it, Paul? I'm going to put that on screen. It's very naughty. It is. But as long as, like I said, we work together, we talk to, me and Paul do have a lot of contact. It's all right, you don't have to, my lovely. Me and Paul do have a lot of contact, talking and things like that, and communicating. So everybody works together, which is absolutely brilliant, because then there's no kerfuffle. But yeah, it's comforting, Yolanda. You know, when you get a reading and they give you or they can describe the person to a T, because if somebody comes on and says, right, I've got an old man here and is wearing a flat cap, well, to me, all my granddad's age would have wore a flat cap, so that's not enough. I want a little bit more about that gentleman. I want to know why he's wearing the yellow tie, or I want to know what the yellow tie would represent. And it could be that when they were laid to rest, they were wearing a yellow tie, or everybody wore yellow ties to the funeral. There's got to be that kind of connection that comes in. And it's just, yeah, the information that they can come. You might have been looking some new shoes day before. You might have bought some new shoes and they say, oh, they like your shoes that you've got, or they like your new hairdo. Just make sure you haven't been to an hairdresser's prior and had your hair done, because like me, you can see my roots. So if I've got no roots, they know it's not real, this colour. They'll be like, oh, they know you went to hairdressers. Well, we all did it. You're wanting more specific things, and I do try to give that with my readings. Obviously, when I come online and I do the free readings, I try to get as in depth as I can. I'm getting short-tongued, but yeah, I agree with you. Always ask for vacation on proof. Exactly, you've got to, haven't you, sweets? You've got to. It's just, yeah, I just think it's absolutely fabulous. But no, I love me tarots. I've got my tarots ready for in a bit. I'm gonna come on, and I might try and read with this pack. It's the shell casting pack. It's the Oracle card. So I've got them ready. I do love these cards, though. I mean, when you look at pictures on these, again, pictures tell a story. And you know, it's funny because I can look at a card that way and I can see so much, but then I can turn it around that way and I see even more. It's really good. We are out tonight, live on location. There will be myself, John, and Claire. I think it's going to be 9:30, so we'll probably be meeting about 9:15, Claire. I'll get John to send you the link. Oh my God. What with that black thing flying? Woo! I hope it's a fly and not a wasp. It's me. Oh, it's one of them big meat flies. Fly out, otherwise I'm going to spray you. I don't like flies. Hey, Michelle, my lovely house things. Yeah, so we are live tonight, so all three of us will be out on location. You put your new cards under the bed before using. No, but a lot do, don't they? They'll put them under the bed. They put them in the under the pillows. Some carry them around in the pockets. Morning, Nina. Some carry the tarots wherever. I normally put them with a hagstone. So all my new cards I get, I place the hagstone on them. I cleanse them. And if I'm cleansing, I just use these and just do a cleanse with these. If I'm cleansing all my packs, then if I do them all together, then I do use the sage because it's just easier to sage with them all, because with that stuff, you're going like that and all stuff strapping onto the card. So, but yes, no. But looking forward to getting out tonight. Like I say, I'm sorry we didn't get to Whitby, but we didn't even get to Whitby Abbey. We got to Whitby. We didn't get into his room till about 3:00. We shouldn't have got in while 4, but we went in at 3. But because of the drive over, my back wasn't very good. So we ended up actually staying in that night. We didn't go out on Sunday at all. Monday morning, we got up at 9:30 and we went down into Whitby. We were only 2 minutes away, literally just up from train station. And we went into Whitby and we had a walk round. Obviously, I took the photos and everything else. And then take care, Yo-Yo. See you soon, my beauts. And then we had a walk across there's like a bridge, and you walk across the bridge. And we actually went right up to the steps, and you've got the steps going up, and then there were this hill at the side of the steps. And I says to John, my scooter's never going to get up that hill. I says, even Big Red won't get up that hill. Little did we know at that point. So we turned around and we come back down. And then when we come back down, we went back and we got back into the room, well, into a little apartment type thing. We got back in for about 2:00, I think John said, and then we didn't go back out while 6. So at 6:00, we managed to see. I think if we'd have gone up to the steps, I think there was another path that went sideways, and it would have took you around because that can't have been ill to go up. Not, even prams wouldn't have got up that. So we never even got to the Abbey. So we are going to be looking back at coming. You should visit Lillishall Abbey. Loads of activity there, most like monks. Give me a minute and I'm going to put that into my phone, because you do know my memory is like a sieve. And yeah, Lillishall Abbey. Let's see how long it'd take us. 1 hour 55 minutes. So that's not too bad. It's on its way to Birmingham, isn't it? That's all right. Closes at 6:00 though, so we'd have to do that one in day. It's steep there. Whitby Dawn. It's very steep, Dawn. You to Rob as well, and Charlie. I once saw Palm Reader at Inglemells. I thought this is going to be a con. but I had a reading anyway. She told me that it was imperative that I change my car. I changed my car a few days prior because someone had cut my brakes and almost ended up in a ditch as my car skidded on the fuel as I was losing. Wow. How could somebody cut your brakes, Claire? Kinel. See, do you know, like you said, even though you'd change car, she was telling you to change the car, do you know? I mean, like you said, again, it's just one of them, isn't it? Sometimes you can be lucky and you can fall upon them. Even like you said, places like Inglemells, and places like that. So yeah, it's you can get some good ones, but you can also get ones that look at your Facebook pages before they do readings, and and yeah, it's wrong to do so. I prefer to do readings for people that aren't on my Facebook page. Not that I go looking through your Facebook pages anyway. I don't, but I'd rather not have access. So sometimes I get friends requests off people, and I won't respond, or I decline them. And the reason why I decline them, if I don't know you, I decline you anyway. But I decline a few because if I do readings for you, I prefer not to have you on my friends list because I just don't want to. Yeah, I'm not that kind of person. But yeah, you've seen one of them, have you, Claire, that does that looks at your Facebook page, yeah, sits you down for 20 minutes and then goes to a computer screen. Yeah, dear, amazing, aren't they? Amazing, it's epic. Shropshire, you can walk around ruins at night. I know, I have to oh, Shirley. Well, I'll be definitely one we'll go to. I'll guarantee you another team will be going there before us. But yeah, thank you for sharing, my lovely. If anybody does have any locations, please message us, and I'll respond to you on Messenger, because that way then it gives us access first at locations, and then we can share once we've been there. That's the one. I know, it's amazing. At least you got a cup of coffee for price of whatever it was. But no, I know, darling. So wrong. I wish I'd have known you was going, because I would have told you exactly what to do. But yeah, morning, Gemma. How are you this morning? That's why people don't trust the real readers, makes it hard for people to like it. Do you know, Dawn? Exactly. And I've got to admit, but you know, it's same with anything that you do. There's always people that will con people and spoil things. So this is where word of mouth comes in, where people can actually say, come along to this, like you, Dawn. You do free readings. I don't know whether you go live on your page, Dawn, or what you do, but you give free readings out. So hopefully people get to see you giving readings, and whether they come back for free reading, whether they book in for a reading, it doesn't matter, do you know? But yeah, it's you just have to rise above it. I mean, I had a gentleman message me other week. I was doing some free readings, and this bloke messaged me after I'd done a reading, after I'd done my free readings, and he says, people like you should be shameless, should be shameful. And I put, I'm really sorry to hear that that's how you feel, blah, 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 blah. And he messaged me back and he said, yeah, he says, my girlfriend's just left me because of people like you. And I put, people like me. I says, I'm sorry. I says, but I don't do relationships. I says, if I don't even entertain a relationship reading. I'll do a relationship reading, but not in the sense of cheating goes on. You know, I'll tell you what's going on. But relationship readings are very difficult, and the reason is because we do have a lot of vulnerable people out there that come to tarot readers or mediums, and for me, a relationship is a no straight away, because this lady had gone to this tarot reader or medium, and they'd said that there was issues in the relationship. Well, I'm not being funny. But morning, Joy. I'm not being funny, but we all have issues in his relationship. You know, whether if I said to Joy, let's pick Joy. She's the last one to join us. So I picked Joy, and I said to Joy, "I'm doing you a reading, Joy," and I said, there's things going off in your relationship, though, isn't there? There's a bit of there's a bit of angst going off. There's something don't feel right within relationship, or there's arguments. I'm sure Joy would say, yeah, there is. We had an argument last week, or we had an argument on Sunday. Were it involving another person? Well, no, but actually, yeah, it sort of was, but not, if you know what I mean. Because your mind starts thinking back then to different things and different arguments you've had, or things that he's done, or whatever. Anyway, this whoever this reader were said to this lady, he's cheating on you. She didn't exactly say he was cheating. Basically, she said he's got a wandering eye, and he likes the ladies. So she got really upset. She went home and she argued with him after coming back. So the next day, she went back to the same reader. She booked back in this, and this is how vulnerable people are. She booked back in the next day, and this woman took her back and said, and then she said, because of the argument and what had been said, that it was being sneaky and hiding things and blah, 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 all this. She went home and she left him. That relationship's ruined. And the poor bloke hadn't done anything. He weren't cheating. Well, I don't know if he was cheating, but but do you know what I mean? It ended a relationship. So when people put about relationships, I will always answer if they say, am I gonna get with such and such? Is he gonna leave me? I'll say, ask him. Talk to him. You know your relationship better than anybody. If your gut feeling's telling you something that's not right, then there's something not right. I will always say that. Listen to your gut. If whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, if your gut feeling's telling you there is something wrong, then there's something wrong. And that's all I've got to. It's bad. People don't realize that readings can help, but people's minds at rest sometimes bring them closure. Do you know, Joy, a lot of readings do that for people, and when they're done by the right person, 100%, Joy, they really can, because you get the messages that you're needing to hear. And if I couldn't give closure to anybody, I would, but relationships is one that I would keep away from. Not putting the toilet seat down, a real problem in our relationship. It is in ours. I said, have you put seat down? And he'll be like, I've done it, and then he'll go back in and put it down, you know. But that's what I'm saying, really. But that's where they target you. That's where they'll target and say there's issues in a relationship. There's always going to be issues in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a romance, a bromance, how can you say a she-mance? Don't matter, does it? Do you know? But at the end of the day, yeah, just be very careful, guys. Because I know everybody goes to different ones and stuff like that. And there is some good ones out there to go to. But really make sure, watch them first, see how they work, see what they do. See if they come to you when you go online and drop in, you know. You've got to. Could you just... one saying, I'm going to meet a man with money. Could you do one? Say, I'm going to meet a man with money, flash car, holiday home in Caribbean. Oh, Shirley, I'll join you. We'll get on boat together. I never do really. They need to work it out. They exactly don't. We definitely do. Sorry, just see you, my cucumber up. You so pretty. Drop link, StreamYard, and watch backstage. Oh, dear, no. We always get them, don't we? Dear. I once saw a very good palm reader. This is from Claire. The look on her face as she took my palm was the look of horror. She refused to tell me what she'd seen, no matter how much I begged. See? Do you know? But again, Claire, with things like that, it's interesting. She refused to read for you. I mean, if you look back at what part of your life that were when it happened, was it to do while you were with a different partner? Was it to do after you'd had some issues with health, and she could have seen something, and even though it wasn't bad, to tell you, it would have given you more worries. So always look at things that are going around, that's best thing to do. If you go mind, body, spirit, that's it. The mind, body, spirit one, that's where I went down when I had that gentleman. The mind, body, spirit one, that was the one that I went to and I had that gentleman read me. I think it was in Barnsley where I went for that. I'll have to find tape out because the tape were brilliant. Put me down for one of those two, Lindsay. I will do, Joy. I'll tell you what, shall we find one that'll take us all? I don't want the sex. I just want the money and the nice home. I'm not even bothered about flash car. Just money and home. I'll buy my own car. I'll buy my own van. This is pre-internet. I was about 16. Wow. So have a look what we're going off around your life around that time, Claire. And maybe the information that she would have given you at that point, maybe maybe she just felt that at that age you were too young to hear it, maybe at that point we have to find these things out for herself. If she said she couldn't read for you, maybe it was something. You never know, do you? It's a pity you couldn't go back. I'm not sharing. I don't want sharing. I don't want sloppy seconds. Oh dear. I know exactly what it was. Exactly. So there you go, Claire. So how when now you look back on it, or when you did look back on it, it was good that she didn't give you that information, because you needed that to happen for a learning curve, and I think we all have to learn things, don't we? There's lessons to be learned in everything, and karma. I do definitely 100% believe in karma. I think if you do harm to others, then harm will be done to you. No, in my look, you'll have a caravan in real. Hey, not wrong with real. Oh dear. Sometimes things happen in the future and they tell you. They can. Sometimes things can happen in the future and you can be told. So it's always best to keep a note when you have readings, or always make. That's why I like doing written readings more so than I like doing one-to-one readings. I prefer to do a written reading, and the reason I like that is because they can look back. Say I said June's going to be this, for whatever reason, 25th of June's going to be, there's something happening around that time. If when it gets to June, you can look back and you can think, actually, oh my God, such and such told us they were getting married on that day, or it can be really significant. We all have car crashed in our life. We have. It's when you need a tan. I need to tan. I'm going to go out and garden a bit. Sun's gone in a minute, but I'm hoping it comes back out. Look, I've got me t-shirt marks on my shoulders, so I like them because it shows me that I've got a suntan. But look how pale my skin is. I'm going to try and get these lines covered up. That's why I want to go to Caribbean. It was a relationship issue. I think she did the right thing not telling me, although the warning would have been good. Yeah. But I think she would have seen herself as meddling in my life. Plus, she knew my partner. There you go. But again, meddling. And that's one thing nobody should do, is meddle in somebody else's lives when it comes to giving readings or mediumship or anything. Whether it to do with anything, that's not what they're there for, to meddle. And if people are meddling, it's because for me, they're not good readers if they come off as meddling. Because for me, I've never seen I've never been to or seen good readers that meddle. Oi, oi, ghost lady, Nanny Lane, you ready for 13th, Butte? We're already cooking on gas. Can't wait for 13th. Live investigation in a secret location. We will tell you, I mean, it's not up near Sheffield. We are heading down the road. I think I've said down right. I don't think you're up, you're down. We are heading downwards. And 13th is going to be honestly, it's going to be a really, really good night. Nanny Lane, Paul, me, Simon, Claire, you're going to be joining us live. There is I can tell you there is different levels to this place. So I think there's about 3 or 4 different floors. I think some of the night, morning Susan, some of the night we'll all be together. Some of the night we will be going off and doing alone, doing as alone. Oh, I've said it now. We've got to do it, Claire. I'm all right because I'm in a building, so if I scream, you'll not far to run. But we will be going off and doing like alone investigations without this within this building. Morning, Elaine. Yeah, it's going to be cracking. The problem is there is going to be stairs. Now, I struggle with stairs at the best of times. So I'll be starting at the top and working my way down to the bottom. I think once I get down to the bottom, I may get back up to the first floor. I don't think I get out. It depends on the stairs and how bad my knees are, because obviously I can't take scooter. I'll have my sticks with me, but the stairs are a nightmare. But I will do my best to do it. And I said to Nanny Lane, worst comes to worst, we can stop on ground floor and I will do some live video while everybody else is around the building. Me and Nanny Lane will do some live footage down at the bottom and do like a pre-record, so then we can just upload it and see if we catch anything. So yeah, it's gonna be epic. I fucking hate that word. Fantastic live last night, Paul. It was, Nanny Lynn. I will be back on Tuesdays in chat while Paul's doing the live. I will be in chat on Facebook moderating. I had some right issues with moderating last night. I wanted to go under my own profile, but then we got me under my own profile, but then I couldn't comment, I couldn't post on main page, so we've had to flip it all round again. So now I'm back to admin again, so I'll be back on as Exploring the Afterlife on a Tuesday. I can't use my own profile for some strange reason. I've got to listen to Lindsay snoring on the 30th. You have, Claire, you have got to listen to me snoring. Because on that night we're staying overnight in Gloucester. So obviously there's me, Claire, John and Simon. And Claire weren't sharing a room with Simon, and I weren't sharing a room with Simon. So we've put John in with Simon. So Claire's in there's me and Claire in one room, and John and Simon in the other room. The room John and Simon's going to be staying in has got some paranormal activity going on, but I think quite a few rooms, so I don't think me and Claire will get away with it, but me and Claire will probably do some live footage from in the room with a few bits and pieces before we do go to sleep. We'll probably not sleep, me and Claire. I'll be like that, Claire, just hold me hand, because if folk comes in, I can squeeze and wake you up. But yeah, I will be, I do snore, and I do snore quite loudly. John says it's like waking up next to a warthog sometimes. As long as I don't have a glass of wine, then you're all right, Claire, because I snore like when I have alcohol, I do snore louder. But I might bring a bottle of wine for when we get back in. Morning, Mick. I might bring a bottle of wine for in room for after we've finished the investigation, because we ain't got to drive, have we? John's got to drive, so But yeah, so it's gonna be a good night. Tonight we are gonna have to off. Leeds have to deliver. Oh, no worries, Dawn, my lovely lady. We shall see you soon. Dawn, you're going to have to join me live and do some free readings with me when we go live, if that's okay. We'll have to sort a time and a day out. There were also another lady last night. Oh, my God, I'm shocking with names. That said she wanted to come on and do some tarots with me, do some free readings with me. And that's, yeah, message me when you've got a free night and we'll see what we can sort out and bring you on. I do like it when I've got others on when we're doing tarot readings, because it does take it out and you when you're doing when you're like reading after reading after reading. So is John, but not as much. So is John not as much. So is John not as much. What do you mean, Nanny Lynn? So is John not as much? I don't know. Your room is very haunted. Not our room. Mine and Claire's room isn't. John and Simon's having haunted room. I'm not Claire. Joy, earplugs don't work. We've tried it. I've tried plugging John's ears. I've tried big earmuffs on. I've tried everything. A pillow, nothing. It can even be in next bedroom or downstairs, and he can still hear me snoring. Literally hear me snoring from downstairs. I am that loud when I snore. Yeah. Like honestly, he says it's like sleeping next to a warthog sometimes. But yeah. that's after a couple of glasses of alcohol though, Claire. I'll wake all tell up me. I'll be there again at a big snore. I even wake myself up when I snore. I'm one of them. I can snore, and then I'll wake myself up because it's how loud it is, and I'll say to John, "I've just woke myself up," and he'll go, "Yeah, I'm me." And I'm like, I haven't. Oh, dear. I'll tell you what, we're funny. You know when we were in Whitby. We'd gone to bed Monday night, and it must have been, I don't know, about 10:30, 11:15. And it were about 4:00 in the morning, and I fell out of bed. I was talking, and I'd woke myself up talking in my sleep. I have conversations with myself, and I woke myself up talking, and then I went back to sleep. Next minute, I actually fell out of bed, but I fell out of bed sitting up with my back. So bed were behind me, so my back was to bed, and my legs were out. I literally fell out of bed. And I says to John, I went, John, he went, what? I went, I've just fell out of bed. And he went, you haven't? I says, I bloody have. I fell out of bed. I says, I can't get up. Anyway, managed to get back up, and I moved all the way across onto his side at bed, so I didn't fall out of bed again. But no, that was just so funny. If you want your room to be a little more creepy, you could always. I'm not doing. Do you know, Paul? No. I'm going to put on screen what Paul's put, because that is a no for me. Always play Candyman in the mirror. No. Do you know? I am really, really superstitious, and I could never ever. Even now, I could have a mirror in front of me and say that 3 times. I couldn't. I honestly, I'd shit myself. Them kind of things really, really spook me out. Something rotten. Proper spook me out. I'd shit myself. Honestly, I would. I would need a nappy on. You'll have to record. John's recorded me because I said I didn't believe him that I snored. They were going to have it as a ringtone, but I said if he did, I'd leave him. He said, well, that's good. I didn't really. But no, he did. He had a recording of me snoring because I said I didn't believe him. I can't either, Lindsay. Oh, I can't put, honestly, anything like that, it just sets me up, and I think, no, because it could, what happens if it is, you know, it's it's one of them that no, and if Claire did it, I'd gaggle. I'd gaggle. I'd find some socks or use my bra to gaggle. Actually, I think one of my bra cups would fit Claire's full head. But I'd gag her if she if she started doing that. I might pretend I'm asleep and start doing it and see what Claire does. Oh dear, I might have to. I'm just imagining Claire's head in my bra. Oh dear, that's so wrong on every level, and it would never happen. Oh dear, tell him you're whispering sweet nothings in his ear. Oh dear, I'm hoping that John and Simon don't try and scare me and Claire when we're in that room, because I'll tell you something, I'll be sleeping downstairs in lounge. I'll just be at bar all night. Oh dear. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to finish my cold coffee. I'm going to have a vape. I'm going to go and sit in the sunshine on the back garden. I'm going to try and tan a little bit. I'm kissing myself. Challenge accepted. Oh, can I fit my head in Lindsay's? You could, Claire. I'm telling you, you'd fit your head in my bra. Do you know, we're going to do it. That's the challenge. Me and Claire are going to challenge. That's the challenge we're going to do. Next time I'm with Claire, not tonight though, unless I bring a clean pair of bras with me and try and get Claire's head in a bra tonight. I don't know. But no, on the 13th, that's the challenge of the night. Me and Claire to fit her head in my bra cup. Telling you it can be done. So everybody have I'm daring you, Claire. I'm daring you. Everybody have a fantastic day, and we shall be live later on about 9:30 doing a live investigation. So we'll do it on the 13th. It's on. It's a day. It's booked in. Oh dear. So have a good day, and love to you all. Plenty of blessings, and we shall see you soon. Love you loads, guys. Bye.